Last May 4, 2026, the 12 students from CPE2203 have conducted a hazard risk assessment right at the Albert Einstein building at the second floor. And here is what we found.
For our first hazard, unsecured circuit breakers. While the black panel looks improvised or non-standard, with a wooden or makeshift cover, the condition suggests a potential unsecured circuit breaker. For the suggested solutions, first, ensure the panels are lockable or restricted to authorized personnel only. Second, ensure both panels are fully enclosed with secure, properly fitted covers. Lastly, replace the makeshift black panel with a certified metal distribution board that meets electrical safety standards.
So for the next hazard that we saw an improper installation of an electric socket. The electric socket's faceplate is improperly mounted on the wall and is detached from the outlet, causing wires from within the electric socket to be exposed. So for the suggested solutions for this hazard, first is to make sure that the area around the socket is dry and free from metal objects or flammable materials to reduce the risk of shock or fire. Also, do not plug any appliance into the improperly installed socket until it is properly fixed. Next, if there are exposed wires, carefully cover them with electrical tape or keep people away from the area to avoid accidental contact. And lastly, periodically check sockets for signs of damage such as sparks, burning smell, loose connections, or overheating. Immediate repair or replacement of faulty sockets can prevent accidents before they happen.
Now, for the ceilings have exposed wires, this hazard is a serious safety risk because live wires can cause electric shocks if touched or start a fire if the wires spark against dust or building materials. Additionally, because the electrical junctions are uncontained, any operational arcing or overloading sparks can easily ignite surrounding combustible building materials, dust, or structural insulation, posing a major fire hazard. Now, moving on to our suggested solutions, we can isolate and de-energize the circuit at the main breaker panel immediately to eliminate any physical shock or fire hazard. Next, we can install an approved fire-rated electrical junction box inside the ceiling cavity to enclose the wire splices properly. And lastly, we can terminate and cap all open wire conductors securely using rated wire connectors and seal the box with a solid blank cover plate.
In this picture, the hazard is electric socket near moisture or water source. The description is the electrical socket is installed near a moisture or water source, increasing the risk of electric shock, short circuit, or electrical fire. Water can enter the socket or surrounding wiring, especially when the area becomes wet or humid. This condition becomes more dangerous when appliances are plugged in or when users touch the socket with wet hands. The suggested solutions are locate the socket away from areas exposed to water or excessive moisture whenever possible. Install a waterproof or weather-resistant socket cover to protect the outlet from accidental water exposure. Ensure the area remains dry at all times and avoid using electrical appliances with wet hands near the socket. Have a licensed electrician inspect the installation to ensure compliance with electrical safety standards and proper grounding. And last is regularly inspect the socket for signs of corrosion, sparks, overheating, or damage and replace faulty components immediately.
This area shows exposed electrical wires protruding from an unfinished wall opening. Without the proper outlet cover or junction box, the wiring becomes vulnerable to accidental contact, physical damage, and dust buildup. This condition increases the risk of electrical hazards such as short circuits and electric shock, while also indicating an incomplete or improperly secured electrical installation. To address this issue, a proper junction or outlet box should be installed to safely contain the electrical wires. The wall opening must be covered with an appropriate electrical plate to prevent direct exposure. Additionally, all wires should be properly insulated and secured, and the installation should be inspected by a qualified electrician to ensure electrical safety and compliance with standards.
Exposed nails sticking out from the walls are also one of the hazards that was identified in our school building. This hazard may seem small, but it can pose a serious risk to students, teachers, and staff who regularly pass through the area. The first hazard is physical injury. Students or teachers may accidentally bump into the exposed nail and experience cuts, scratches, or puncture wounds. To address this hazard, several solutions can be applied. First, the exposed nail should be removed immediately or hammered properly so they no longer stick out. Second, the school should conduct regular inspections and maintenance of classrooms, hallways, and other facilities to identify hazards before accidents occur. Third, if repairs cannot be done immediately, the area should be marked with warning signs or barriers to prevent people from getting too close.
The wall material loses its cohesive strength, its bond between layers weakens, and sections of the surface become at risk of delamination and failure. The damage has extended into framing or load-bearing components beneath the surface finish. The implications reach beyond the cosmetic deterioration into a genuine compromise of the wall's structural capacity. Proper remediation requires that both causes be investigated, confirmed, and fully addressed, not one at the expense of the other, before any structural repair can be considered complete.
The hallway connects different rooms, areas, or exits, but one side is noticeably dim because a light fixture isn't working. This creates a stretch of poor visibility along the passageway. Even during normal use, students and staff may have trouble seeing obstacles or other people, especially when carrying bags or walking in groups. The first step is to report the broken light fixture to the maintenance office. Since the other side of the hallway is working, it's likely just a burnt out bulb or a minor wiring issue that can be fixed quickly. Once the lighting is restored, the school should check the rest of the corridor lights to make sure no other fixtures are close to failing. Simple reminder signs can be placed near switches and entrances to encourage students and staff to report broken lights right away. A basic reporting system, or even just a logbook or short online form, helps ensure that lighting issues are addressed before they become hazards. During orientations or safety drills, the school should also remind everyone that poor lighting slows evacuation and increases accident risks. When people understand why lighting matters, they are more likely to report the problems promptly.
The next hazard is loose and disassembled tiles. Some tiles appear to be loose and not secured properly. This is a physical hazard, especially in terms of foot stability. This can be dangerous, especially making students and employees more prone to tripping with the possibility of cuts from the edge of the disassembled tiles. The solutions we have come up with are: the tile hazard must be surrounded with safety barricades, cones, or warning devices. Stable footing can also be applied by means of temporary covers such as rubber mats, non-slip covers, or plywood sheets. The main fix for this hazard is for each tiles to be removed completely and replaced with tiles in better condition. It must be supervised for quality control and the area checked for any issues like moisture, cracks, or structural weaknesses before retiling. The next hazard is a window opening without no window pane. A missing window pane exposes the area to rain, dust, insects, strong winds, and possible unauthorized entry. It also reduces the safety and security of the room since people or objects may accidentally pass through the opening. During bad weather, water may enter the area and damage nearby furniture, equipment, or electrical installations. Proposed solutions are placing a warning sign or temporarily covering the opening until replacement is completed, installing a new window pane immediately to restore protection and safety. And the third is conducting regular maintenance and inspection of all windows to prevent similar issues to occur.
During our safety inspection, we identified a critical structural hazard. The external emergency staircase is excessively steep and narrow. According to safety principles, evacuation routes must allow people to move quickly and freely. Instead, this design creates a dangerous bottleneck. In a real emergency like a fire or an earthquake, the inevitable panic will cause occupants to rush, greatly increasing the risk of dangerous slips, trips, and crowd crush injuries. While the ideal solution is a complete structural renovation to widen the stairs and fix the slope, this kind of major reconstruction requires extensive budgets and long-term planning, making it unfeasible to do right away. Because we cannot leave the students and staff exposed to this danger in the meantime, short-term safety measures are urgently needed. We recommend immediate fixes like adding high-visibility anti-slip traction strips to the steps, installing sturdy handrails on both sides, and conducting regular evacuation drills. This keeps everyone safe immediately while the university plans for the long-term structural overhaul.
The observed location is an indoor hallway that runs through a school building, connecting classrooms and other areas to an exit visible at the far end of the corridor. During the observation, these conditions were noted. 2 plastic monoblock armchairs with attached writing tablets have been left on opposite sides of the corridor, 2 on the left wall, 1 on the right. A wooden chair sits next to the white monoblock on the right side, adding to the clutter. None of these chairs were arranged with any clear purpose. They appear to have been just left there. Together they cut a usable width of the hallway down to a narrow middle passageway. Walking through alone is already uncomfortable. Getting a group of people through quickly, especially during a fire or an earthquake, would be genuinely dangerous. That is the core problem here. Under ordinary conditions, students or staff moving through this corridor can still bump into or trip over the chairs, particularly when multiple people are using the hallway at once. When someone is carrying a bag or equipment, or when the lights are out during a power interruption. The chairs in the corridor should be removed right away back into classrooms or into a designated storage area. The school should paint or tape floor markings along both sides to show the boundaries within which no objects may be placed. Signs reading "Keep hallway clear at all times," "Do not block passageway," and "Emergency exit route." No obstructions should be posted at eye level along the corridor. They do not need to be elaborate. They just need to be visible and taken seriously. Chairs often end up in hallways because there is nowhere else to put them. The university should identify specific areas away from exit routes where chairs can be stored temporarily or where students waiting outside classrooms can sit. Giving people an alternative prevents the problem from coming back. A design safety officer or a school's health and safety committee should walk through all corridors and exit routes at least once a week to check for obstructions. Anything found in the hallway gets removed immediately, and whoever left it there gets informed.
Safety is everyone's responsibility. Through this hazard risk assessment presentation of the second floor of the Albert Einstein building, we were able to identify possible hazards and recommend practical solutions to help create a safer and more organized environment for students, faculty, and staff. We, the students of CPE2203, hope that this presentation raises awareness and encourages everyone to actively participate in maintaining safety within the school premises. Thank you for watching.